He waited, then acted. This is why concealed carry gives you the advantage, folks. Today we're breaking down a robbery caught on camera in Brazil, an incident where one man survived because he stayed calm, carried concealed, and waited for his moment. This is the kind of situation I talk about in Defend Confidently and on this channel. Your firearm is not a magic shield. It's a tool that only works when your timing is right. For YouTube guidelines, I'm stopping the video right before the shooting. If you want the full clip, it's linked below in the description. This attacker storms into a restaurant with zero hesitation, immediately starts waving a gun. Everyone inside is instantly under his control. It's obviously a lethal force situation. Moments like this are why we carry, but also why we train. Not every problem can be solved with immediate action. Our armed defender is an off-duty police officer, detective I believe, seated, concealed, and surrounded by innocent people. This is not a hero moment. This is a chess game. As the robbery unfolds, notice the defender's body language. Hands up, compliance. He doesn't rush. He doesn't broadcast he's armed. He keeps his advantages hidden. This is exactly why concealed carry is so powerful. The bad guy can't adjust his plan to something he can't see. If this were open carry, that gun on the hip becomes target number one. I know some states have open carry and it's more common to see that, but I've done a video on this specifically, whether you should open carry or concealed carry if you have the choice, and I'll put a link to that video in the description as well. Also, it looks like from the video that he's carrying in the appendix position, which makes it easier for him to draw without being noticed. If he was carrying on his hip or in the small of his back, for example, that might have been noticed more from the bad guy. So I'm not going to tell you which way to carry. Obviously, you should carry however you're most comfortable, but just be aware that drawing from different positions is going to require obviously different motions, and depending on the situation you're in, it may be less noticeable if you're carrying, for example, in the appendix position. So whatever position you do decide to carry in, remember that you're going to have to train to draw from that position, and that some positions are going to be more noticeable than others when you draw. We talk about this in class, the illusion of compliance. You give the robber what he wants, control, while you quietly gather information. Where is his attention? What angle gives you the highest chance of success? Who is behind him? What backstop do you have or not have? These questions decide life or death, not bravado, not speed, not the gun itself. Awareness and timing every time. Now watch what happens next. The robber shifts his focus away, then he looks down, then moves to another victim. This is the first moment, the first real moment where a draw is even remotely possible, and the defender still doesn't go. Most people get this wrong. They assume any window is good enough, but in a high-stress environment with a moving threat, a possible opportunity isn't the same thing as a good opportunity. He waits for the best one. When the robber finally turns his back, shoulders, head, and full attention pointed away from the defender, that's the green light. The robber then looks at the guy in the blue shirt across the room thinking he's a threat, but it's not him. This is the concealed carry advantage in its purest form, folks. The threat believes you're harmless. You know exactly where he is. He has no idea you have the capability to end the threat. The defender draws quietly from a grounded position, something most carriers have never practiced or done. If you only practice your draw while standing square on a flat surface, you're preparing for a fight that really doesn't exist. You should be practicing from seated positions, awkward angles, under tables, kneeling. Your life is not a static range lane. And gunfights rarely happen while you're standing up like a weatherman. I realize that this is going to be difficult to find a shooting range that will allow this, because most shooting ranges will not allow you to shoot sitting or shoot at a weird angle or lying down due to safety reasons. My suggestion would be to find an instructor who either has a private range or has access to a private range where you can go over these drills safely. You can always practice them at home during dry fire drills with your own gun. Of course, make sure it's unloaded first, or a training gun. I recently did a video review on the Mantis Titan X. I'll put a link to that in the description. This is a great training gun for just this scenario. You can practice at different angles, different positions under stress, and the app will give you the feedback you need of how your draw is and how your shots are hitting on target. When you watch the video, it seems like he does fumble with the safety with his support hand. So keep this in mind if you carry a gun with a manual safety. You must train and preferably disengage the safety with your shooting hand. It should be a fluid motion when you draw. You shouldn't have to think about it. That's why my concealed carry does not have a manual safety. I'm not going to fault anyone if they prefer to have a manual safety, but you just need to know that you have to practice when you draw. You have to disengage that safety. It has to be a fluid motion, and you have to do it with muscle memory. Another thing you notice is that how difficult it is for him to control the gun when he starts firing it with one hand. He's trying to deal with the recoil. He's lying down, he's shooting with one hand. Obviously his adrenaline is up. He's in a stressful situation, but he's only using one hand. If he were to use two hands, that would have provided more support for sure. He would have been able to deal with that recoil more easily. He obviously did a great job getting shots off and stopping the threat. He wasn't hurt. No one else was hurt from the video that we could see. The bad guy was stopped, so he obviously did a great job. But we do analyze these videos so we can improve and think about these scenarios and how to train for them. This is where we end the footage, folks. Again, there's a link for the full raw video in the description if you want to see it. But here's what matters most. The defender's success wasn't about being fast. It wasn't about the gun. It wasn't even about shooting skill. It was remaining calm, maintaining composure, understanding timing, and using concealed carry the way it was meant to be used, as a surprise advantage against a violent threat. That's something every responsible carrier must internalize. A few key lessons from this incident. Number one, concealed carry protects you long before you ever draw. It prevents you from being targeted early. It lets you choose the moment, not the threat. Number two, situational awareness is the foundation of everything. The defender paid attention. He recognized when the robber stopped paying attention. Number three, compliance is a tool, not a weakness. Purposeful compliance buys time and creates opportunity. Number four, train realistically. Draw from concealment at weird angles. Work on quiet, efficient movement. Pressure test your skills. And finally, number five, calm wins fights. The person who controls their emotions controls the outcome. If you want more on this mindset and training, real-world decision-making, scenario breakdowns, and practical skills, I cover these topics in my book, Defend Confidently, and my online course. Both are linked below. Stay alert, stay trained, and as always, stay safe.